Hey, level casters. Today's lesson takes us on an exciting journey back in time to a very important historical event, the American Revolution. Imagine a group of people living far from their home country, under rules they didn't like. This is the story of how 13 colonies in North America fought for their freedom and created a new nation, the United States of America. It's a tale of bravery, big ideas, and big changes that still affect the world today. We'll explore why these colonists decided to break away from Great Britain, how they managed to win against a powerful empire, and what happened after they gained their independence. Understanding the American Revolution helps us see how countries form and how people fight for what they believe is right. It's not just a story about battles, it's about people wanting to control their own destiny. Are you ready to dive into this fascinating period of history? Let's begin our adventure and discover the roots of modern America. We'll learn new vocabulary related to government, war, and freedom. Pay attention to the causes and effects of these historical moments, as they are crucial for understanding the bigger picture. This revolution wasn't just a local event, it sent ripples across the globe, inspiring others to seek self-governance. So, let's explore the challenges faced by the colonists and the determination that led to their ultimate success. Before the revolution, the 13 colonies were under British rule. For over a century, they had grown accustomed to a certain level of self-governance, meaning they made many of their own local decisions. However, after the costly 7 Years' War, Great Britain needed money. They decided to tax the colonies to help pay their debts. This is where the trouble began. The British Parliament, which was the government in Britain, started passing new laws and taxes without asking the colonists for their agreement. For example, there was the Stamp Act, which required colonists to pay a tax on printed materials like newspapers and legal documents. Then came the Townshend Acts, taxing goods like tea, glass, and paper imported into the colonies. The colonists felt this was unfair because they had no representatives in the British Parliament to speak for them. Their famous cry became, "No taxation without representation." They believed that if they didn't have a voice in the government that was taxing them, then those taxes were unjust. Protests grew, and tensions rose. The colonists started boycotting British goods, which means they refused to buy them. This economic pressure was a way for them to show their disapproval. Things got even worse with events like the Boston Massacre, where British soldiers shot and killed several colonists during a protest, and the Boston Tea Party, where colonists dressed as Native Americans threw British tea into Boston Harbor to protest the tea tax. These events fueled the colonists' anger and desire for change, pushing them closer to a full-scale conflict. The British government, in response, became even stricter, further alienating the colonists. The situation became unbearable, leading to the First Continental Congress in 1774, where colonial leaders met to discuss their grievances and plan a unified response. They tried to find a peaceful solution, but it was too late. In April 1775, the first shots of the Revolution were fired at Lexington and Concord in Massachusetts. These battles marked the beginning of open warfare. Great Britain, with its powerful army and navy, seemed like an unbeatable opponent. However, the colonists had several advantages. They were fighting on their home ground, they had a strong desire for freedom, and they had inspiring leaders like George Washington, who became the commander of the Continental Army. On July 4, 1776, the Second Continental Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence, a document written mainly by Thomas Jefferson. This declaration officially stated that the 13 colonies were now independent states, no longer under British rule. It declared that all men are created equal and have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This was a revolutionary idea at the time. The war was long and difficult, with many battles, victories, and defeats for both sides. Key moments included the Battle of Saratoga, a crucial American victory that convinced France to join the war as an ally, providing much-needed military and financial support. Another significant turning point was the harsh winter at Valley Forge, where Washington's army endured terrible conditions but emerged stronger and more disciplined. The colonists, despite being outnumbered and outgunned, continued to fight with incredible resolve. The war finally ended in 1781 with the Battle of Yorktown, where American and French forces trapped a large British army. This decisive victory forced Great Britain to surrender. In 1783, the Treaty of Paris was signed, officially recognizing the United States of America as an independent nation. This was a monumental achievement for the former colonies. After gaining independence, the new nation faced the challenge of creating its own government. The first attempt, the Articles of Confederation, proved too weak. It created a loose alliance of states without a strong central government. This led to many problems, as the states often disagreed and the government couldn't effectively collect taxes or enforce laws. To address these issues, a new constitution was written in 1787. This constitution established a federal system of government with three branches: the legislative, Congress; the executive, President; and the judicial, Supreme Court. It also included a Bill of Rights, which guaranteed fundamental freedoms to citizens, such as freedom of speech, religion, and the press. The American Revolution had a huge impact, not just on America, but on the world. It inspired other movements for independence and democracy, showing that ordinary people could fight against powerful empires and win. It established the idea that governments should be based on the consent of the governed, meaning the people should have a say in how they are ruled. The United States, born from this revolution, went on to become a major global power, and its founding principles of liberty and self-governance continue to influence political thought and movements worldwide.
That was a really interesting story about the American Revolution.
Yes, it was quite a struggle for freedom.
I didn't know about the no taxation without representation idea.
That was a key reason for the colonists' anger.
So they felt very unfairly treated by Britain.
Exactly. They wanted a voice in their government.
The Boston Tea Party sounds like a dramatic protest.
It certainly showed their strong feelings.
George Washington was a very important leader, right?
Yes, he led the Continental Army to victory.
And the Declaration of Independence was a brave statement.
It officially declared their separation from Britain.
I learned that France helped the Americans.
Their support was crucial for winning the war.
The Battle of Yorktown was the final big battle.
That's right. It led to the British surrender.
Creating a new government must have been hard.
It took time, but they wrote the Constitution.
The Bill of Rights sounds very important for citizens.
It protects their fundamental freedoms.
This revolution really changed the world.
It inspired many other countries.
It was a fascinating lesson today.
I agree. Keep learning, Levelcasters.
That's all for today. Keep it up, and we'll see you in the next Levelcast lesson.